was last night like for you, knowing that there was at least some controversy about whether you would make the field?
Well, it was a tough night. I didn't sleep a lot because there's a lot of good teams out there. Florida State's certainly a good team, and to go undefeated in their league. And it's unfortunate that some good team had to get left out, but I really think that our team earned the right to be here. He beat #1 Georgia in the SEC championship game. They've worked hard all year to improve, and I'm really proud of what they've been able to accomplish together as a team.
Why would you say that your team was able to finish the deal yesterday? What is it about this team? Because Georgia came, responded, gave you a punch, and you needed to finish the game. What was the key factor in getting them to the point that they were able to do that?
Well, this team has shown great resiliency all year long. I mean, we've been behind in several games, came back in the second half. We knew that when you play a team like Georgia and you play teams like we're going to play in the playoffs, they know how to win. So you have to go out there and prove that you know how to win in terms of being able to sustain for 60 minutes and keep making plays and keep playing hard. And I think our guys have done that all year, and they certainly were able to do it last night.
Coach, it's Greg, man. It's amazing what you guys have been able to do this year and just how the team has grown. And frankly, starting on November 1st, it was as if a switch had flipped and you had figured out your team. You knew how you wanted to attack, and I guess the architecture that you thought this team might be, they started to finally embody that as the season went along. So what can you say about the individuals on the team and the buy-in and being able to improve the way they have from month to month and now playing their best football in December?
I think the one thing about our team that I absolutely love is they're a team. You know, everybody buys into the principles and buys the organization. They respect and trust each other. And the big thing about that is when you truly have a team, every individual on the team makes the next individual better. And I think that's what's happened on our team through this transition that we've gone through from the third game of the season on. And I think it's paid tremendous dividends for how we've been able to improve.
Hey, Coach Booger here. When it comes to Jalen Milroe, he starts the season, then he doesn't play against USF. Now he's one of the best quarterbacks in America. What changed over that period of time to get him to that point to where he is now?
Well, I think Jalen learned, how to be a point guard. I've said this many, many times. In the quarterback position, you have to distribute the ball to somebody every play. And your choices and decisions are paramount in being able to do that in an efficient manner. And he learned how to do that. He learned that he just didn't have to make every play, that him making plays was about being a point guard and distributing the ball to everybody else on the team. And he's always been a great ad-libber. So when the play breaks down, he's great at making plays himself, and using that ability to really put a lot of pressure on the defense has made him a phenomenal player.
Coach, nobody has more experience in this postseason than you. Just for fans to understand, you're going to get done with this interview. Do you already have a film ready to be broken down of Michigan? How quickly do you get this thing turned?
Well, I've always thought that when you have this much time off, that you got to give the players a little bit of time and kind of look at it more like a one-game season because psychologically, you can practice too much for a game. You can prepare too much for a game. But from a coach's perspective, we haven't seen that much of Michigan. I've seen them on TV a few times. They got a great team. They're well coached. They're physical. Got a really good defense. They play well on offense. So this is going to be a challenge for our coaching staff as we recruit and do other things that we have to do to manage our roster now to be able to transition into this game. We also have academic issues. We got finals coming up and things like that. So working around all those things. But normally we start about the middle of the month, and that's when we'll really start practicing for the game. The players will lift and run and do a little 7-on-7 on their own, but basically that's when we'll start transitioning into getting ready for this game.
Coach Booger talked about how good Jalen Milroe has become from USF till now. But from a coaching staff standpoint, how have you guys had to adjust to some of the playmaking skills of Jalen Milroe? Because at times it's ad-lib, and they just love cutting away to you on the sidelines when some of these ad-lib things are going on, and your reactions have been classic. So how have you guys had to adjust to his style of play?
Go, Jalen. Go, Jalen. That's what I say on the sideline sometimes. No, I think our coaching staff has done a phenomenal job of taking the players that we have on offense, taking Jalen's skill set, helping him develop as a passer in the passing game to be able to process, throw the ball to the right guy, throw it on time. It's helped our receivers and our entire offensive team gain a tremendous amount of confidence in him, but also to design things that he is exceptionally good at in terms of whether it's a quarterback run that puts a lot of pressure on the defense, which I think has helped our entire running game. You know, we've actually run the ball more efficiently when we put some quarterback runs in and some things that they have to defend on the perimeter because of his skill set. So he's made the other players around him better, and he's, by the way he's distributed the ball, but he's also given them better opportunities because of what his skill set is and what he can do and how he can put pressure on the defense.
Nick, I figure I better ask this question now because you're not going to want to be hearing stuff like this in Pasadena. Winningest team in the history of college football, Michigan. Number 2, Alabama. Nobody's won more national championships in Alabama. Going to Pasadena, grandest stage in college football, place where you won your first title as the head coach of the Crimson Tide. What about, as a guy who appreciates the history of the sport, what do you anticipate that spectacle and that scene to be like?
Well, it's going to be fantastic. You know, it's a great competitive venue. It's a great environment. You know, growing up in the Big Ten as a coach, you have a special appreciation for the Rose Bowl. You have a special appreciation. I coach at Ohio State and Michigan State, so playing Michigan has always been, you know, kind of a huge challenge. So, but it's just the next game for our players, and they got to get ready for it like it's the next game. It's always the most important game, the next game that you play. So, you know, your focus and what you need to do to prepare for that game and play well is the most important thing to stay focused on. There's going to be a lot of external noise. You know what I think about all that stuff.
Yes,
so
yes.
you got to focus on what's going to happen on the field and channel your passion into execution.